Get ready, America, for this is the best of Destination Small Town, a Cluck TV production, featuring the shows that have taken Sweet Swine County by storm. The reality hit, The Real Housewives of Sweet Swine County, Sweet Swine's favorite music show, Backstage at the Commune, the tastefully done cooking segment, Cooking It Up with Betty, the always zany soap opera, As the Corn Grows, and of course, the wildly popular talk shows that share what's happening inside and outside Sweet Swine County. Which shows will you be seeing today? Stay tuned and find out right after the break.
Get ready, because our culinary expert and, dare we say, wine aficionado beyond belief, Betty Thompson, is preparing some tantalizing dishes for us on her show, Cooking It Up with Betty. In the midst of cooking, our dear old Betty does join her What's Cooking reporters traveling throughout our story country. Now, on this station and the web.
This program is made possible in part by Swine Tales Publications, the proud publisher of Sweet Swine County maps and plat books, now publishing authors from throughout Sweet Swine County. Swine Tales Publication is now making plans for their next book tour, and they may be held in these small towns with the release of One Duck, One Ventriloquist, an Autobiography by Lawyer Ed. Talented, driven, hungry for fortune and fame, the story of a man and his wooden duck against the world. The High Horse Herald says, "This guy quacks me up. What a character, and the lawyer's funny too." The New Pork Periodical says, "Best $2 I ever spent on a book." Each of these towns and their businesses are being considered to hold a book signing because of the information found on the best source about small towns of the Midwest. To learn about these towns and their businesses, visit DestinationSmallTown.com.
Who are these people and what are they doing? Well, they're talk show hosts, tourists, celebrities, and reporters from your neighboring county of Sweet Swine. Yes, I said Sweet Swine County, and they're sharing what they've learned about the businesses and points of interest in the small towns of the Midwest. Learn all that they learned on DestinationSmallTown.com.
Welcome back to another exciting episode of As the Corn Grows. Today, we join Daniel as he returns from his meeting with Big Louie to find his wife Annie distraught over his extended absence.
I'm so upset with you, Daniel. You were supposed to be back here 2 days ago.
Listen, darling, I told you I had to make a side trip back through Chicago to settle up your debt with Big Louie.
But I was worried sick. I thought something happened to you, sugar.
Listen, I do admit that he kept me a little bit longer than I had planned, but seems that he has a little job for me to do back at old Sweet Swine.
You can't be showing your handsome face back in Sweet Swine anytime soon.
Oh, that's no matter. You got your mother's fortune, and Minnie'll be none the wiser.
She was here, Daniel.
Here? In Alabama?
Yes, seems those two bumbling idiots that I hired from the Hedge Your Bet law office were a little too bumbling.
But you got the money, didn't you?
No, I did not. Those bumbling fools tracked down my half-sister and had her and that brother of yours come down here to take a look at that piece of paper you had her sign.
They did? So what happened to your father's fortune?
That brat of a half-sister got it all. Oh, my father would be turning over in his grave right now if he knew.
But I don't understand.
What is to understand? The Fumble brothers tracked me down and informed me of the whole situation while you were gone to Chicago.
But what did you tell them?
All I can say is that I was just so distressed at the whole situation that someone could possibly do that to my half-sister.
Well, It looks like I'm going to have to go to Plan B.
Oh, Daniel, you cannot go to Plan B. If you go back to Sweet Swine, they will arrest you on the spot.
Oh, don't you worry about that. If I can convince Miss Minnie to marry me, we'll have your mother's fortune back in no time at all.
What about the forged document? They have your face on that video camera.
Oh, they do they? You know, I have another brother.
I know that, but John, wasn't he in a coma all that time?
Listen, my other brother Boris and my half-sister Natasha have made it very clear that they will do just about anything to get our father's fortune back.
You mean all that money that you just gave to Big Louie?
Since I helped myself to our father's fortune, they want to get at your mother's fortune just to get back at me.
But they didn't know about us and Father's will.
Oh, didn't they?
Are you saying that you're going to return to Sweet Swine County and pin this whole forged document thing on Boris and Natasha?
You just let me worry about the details, darling.
But Daniel, you just can't go back. It is too dangerous.
No, don't you worry your pretty little head at all. Before you know it, this'll all be over and we'll have your mother's fortune back, and those bumpkins back in Sweet Swine County will be clueless as ever.
Excuse me, miss, could you fit me in for a haircut?
Why, sure thing. Why, sure thing, mister.
Silent. Ronnie P. Silent. Ronnie P. Silent.
Harriet,
that's a name.
you cute little guy. Of pretty cut and dry.
This is yours. Okay, you're the Harriet. Well, anyway.
Don't look now, Perry Ann, but I think your boyfriend may be cheating on you. Boyfriend? Ronnie? Ima, he's not my boyfriend. Giddy up.
Ronnie was my brother's name.
Oh, get out of here. But it was my daddy's name, too. They called him Ronald, but what a small world.
He's had a crush on you for years. Well, that may be so, but it's been all one-sided.
You know, life is like a pin curl, and today is your day, big boy. I had a cancellation. Jessica Monroe called in and she canceled her 2 o'clock, so I would love to get my fingers in your hair if you can do that.
Oh, Miss Harriet, I would just be delighted to come here at 2. That'd be the best thing I could do today.
Watch this. Ronnie! 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 Looks like you might be in the market for a new boyfriend, Perry Ann.
And what can I get for you two today? We have a lovely chocolate cake, a graham cracker cream pie, and I've just baked a fresh batch of my famous oatmeal chocolate chip cookies.
Oh, I love those cookies. Tell you what, why don't you bring me a cup of coffee and a couple of those wonderful cookies for each of us?
Sure thing. Coming right up.
So, what's this I hear you think you're gonna run for the mayor of Split Hoof?
Well, you know, I went over to that Elmer Plowing Through Life clinic, and yeah, he said that I should run for mayor.
So, Elmer thought it would be a good idea for you to run for mayor?
Yup.
How on earth did he dream up such a thing?
Well, you know, one of my exercises I had to do when I was there was that I had to write down all of my aspirations and my dreams, and then he read them.
So you thought it would be a good idea to run against Mayor Hayfield, who's been in office for 20 years?
Yes, he did. He thought, you know, it was about time for Mr. Mayor Hayfield to have an upset, and he thought that I was just the man for the job.
Here you go, Earl. A nice cup of joe.
Thank you.
Is there anything else I can get for you?
No, I think that's good for now, but you know, those are awfully good cookies. I might want some more. Maybe you can just set a couple of them back for me?
Sure thing. For my favorite customer, anytime. Enjoy.
Are you done flirting with Myra?
I wasn't flirting. I was just reserving some cookies.
Okay, so what are you going to do about your job with Cousin John?
What about it? I mean, That only takes like 1 or 2 nights a week. I can still do a report now and again. And besides, we're talking split hoof here. It's not like new pork.
You know, Earl, I just don't think you've really thought this through. Do you remember what happened to the last guy who ran against Mayor Hayfield?
Oh yeah, I remember. That was old Stanley Jenkins over there at the Moonlight Cabaret. I remember when he lost to the mayor. Well, then the mayor called the fire marshal, and then the fire marshal went over to the cabaret and he shut it down for a couple of weeks.
Okay, so if you run against the mayor and you lose, what do you think he's going to do to you?
Nothing. Mainly because I'm not going to lose. And besides, think about this. If you and I were to get married someday, well then that would make you the First Lady of Split Hoof.
First Lady of Split Hoof. But wait a minute, Bub. I don't think this relationship has gone that far. And besides, maybe I won't settle for being First Lady of Split Hoof. Maybe I want to be the mayor.
Oh, I can hear the campaign slogans now. Will Earl really run against the all-powerful Mayor Hayfield? And will Clarice finally marry Earl just to become Splithoof's First Lady? I guess we'll find out after the break. Get ready, because now you can see a late-night talk show filmed in front of a discerning yet agreeable studio audience. Splithoof tonight. Cousin John and his incomparable sidekick, Earl Silo, interview a roster of guests who make appearances that you won't want to miss. Now on this station and the web.
Get ready for a website like no other. A website where you will find stories done by reporters, tourists, and celebrities from Sweet Swine County. Yes, I said Sweet Swine County. With nothing happening in their county, they decided to do some stories about the businesses and points of interest located in their neighboring towns and counties. Take a unique look at life inside the small towns of the Midwest by visiting DestinationSmallTown.com.
This program has been made possible by SweetSwineScoop.com, the online magazine that keeps Sweet Swine County citizens informed on what's happening. For if it happens in Sweet Swine County, it's news to us.
Welcome back to As the Corn Grows. Now, today we join Prairie Ann as she meets with Elmer Plow to do an in-depth interview for the Daily Boar.
Excuse me, miss. I'm here to see Elmer Plow.
Do you have an appointment?
I called you about an hour ago, remember?
Let me see if you're in the book.
You told me that I could see him at...
Shh! Just let me check.
Is there a problem out there?
No. Mr. Plow, are you there?
Yes, take your finger off the button.
Are you in for a Miss...
Prairie Ann.
For a Miss Prairie Ann?
Yes, I am. Please let her in. She's my 10 o'clock appointment.
Okay.
Well, it's about time.
Prairie Ann, have a seat. I understand you are here to write an article about me for the Daily Boar.
Well, I guess. Cousin John said you two had some kind of little arrangement? And that I was supposed to scurry on down here and write a little piece for the weekend edition. Oh, Elmer, you've got my new book on your shelf.
Oh, I certainly do. You know, I like to keep track of all the new and emerging self-help trends out there. Even the bizarre and eccentric.
What?
Prairie Ann, how to be jealous of yourself? Oh, yeah. Heller, who does that?
Oh, Elmer, it just shows what you don't know, Mr. Plowboy.
Can we get back to the assignment?
I understand that you have written a book on tape series called Plowing Through Life. Where did you do your research?
Well, when I was in Siberia, I had an epiphany.
Oh, epiphany.
I said to myself, Self,
That's really right. Oh, self.
You have allowed yourself and your future and your fate to be controlled by others.
As I recall, your fate was determined by a well-placed punch to Cousin John's face. Is that true?
It was, but instead of saying, "Oh no, I won't go," I took my punishment.
So you didn't like Russia then, huh?
I was deeply involved in coming up with my new self-help concept called plowing through life.
Okay, so you got back to Sweet Swine, and then what?
I walked into Swine Tales Publications with my manuscript.
Oh my gosh, Elmer!
And they decided to publish.
Great. I just loved working with them on my book, and did
Prairie Ann
for me, and they lined up a 4-town tour. And guess what, Elmer? They even got me on the Cockabur Morning Show to promote my book. Can you believe it?
No, I can't.
You don't want to believe it, do you, Elmer?
It's a bizarre publication that you've written. You need to come to grips with this.
To grips with what?
How to be jealous of yourself? Prairie Ann,
Well, yeah.
get a grip.
What's wrong with that?
Come back to reality,
I
where we
am
all
in reality.
live.
You're the one that's left reality. Plowing through life, what's that?
This is a great self-help textbook. They will be teaching this at Purdue University soon.
But Elmer, I've never seen you like this.
Get used to it, honey. There's a new plow in town.
What did you want to see me about today, Mrs. Swanson?
Well, Prairie Ann, I know that you do the business stories for the Daily Board.
do.
Yes, you do.
I do.
And I have a scoop, and I wanted you to handle it first.
A scoop? Oh, I just love scoops. What is it?
Well, I sold my business.
You sold your business? Why? Who? What?
I've been in negotiations for 2 months with the new owner, and I've just signed the contract this week.
You're selling Mrs. Swanson sweets and eats?
Well, now, Prairie Ann, you know that some years ago, when I was quite a bit younger, when I was with the CIA.
Yes, I do know that.
Okay. Well, it seems like through the years, they have owed me back salary and pension. I didn't know about it through a government snafu. I just found out about it this past June.
Oh, those government agencies. Go figure.
Yeah? I'm going to get about $250,000.
$250,000?
I decided to hang up my apron, put the cake pans away, and live the good life.
Did you sell it to Betty Thompson?
Oh, you bite your tongue, Prairie Ann. I'd rather see the place burn down than sell it to her. I sold it to Myra Bittersweet, and she's going to call it Bittersweets, Treats, and Eats.
Myra? Well, you're giving Myra like 150 of your clients. Betty's going to be really mad.
Ah, that's the best part of this whole transaction.
What are you going to do with your free time?
Well, for starters, I bought this luxury condo.
Condo? This isn't a condo.
That's what it said in the brochure.
This is Sweet Swine Manor.
Well, I always wanted to live in a manor.
What are you going to do next?
Well, I just got off the phone with Henrietta Potter down at the Fly-By-Night travel agency, and she just sold me a singles cruise to the Bahamas.
Yay! That sounds like so much fun. Can I go along?
Well, I don't think so.
Oh, come on.
It's a over 65, if you know what I mean. And it's quite a possibility that I could go home with husband number 2.
Oh, really?
So, Mr. Olson, let's get down to brass tacks, shall we?
Well, I kind of wondered what you called me in here for anyway, Columbo.
I have a few questions regarding the disappearance of Katie Olson, alias Selma Swartz.
Hey, listen, I'm a busy man. All I know about that gal, she took it on the lam when she found out she was going to be discovered. I had nothing to do with that.
That might be the case, but isn't it true that you learned that she was a fraud approximately 2 weeks after she disappeared?
Listen, I don't have any more time for this foolishness.
When Katie disappeared, you were going to inherit on Ella's farm because you were the closest relative?
Well, yeah, that's true, but...
So, that means that you had the most to gain if Katie was out of the picture.
No, now just hold on a cotton picking minute.
In fact, I have an eyewitness testimony that you threatened to get the farm back from her on several occasions.
Listen, it's no secret that I wanted my father's farm back in my family. But if you're accusing me of bumping off this Selma character just to get the farm back, you're barking up the wrong tree.
Hey, just calm down now. It's my job to ask the hard questions to get to the truth and also hopefully find out where this missing woman is.
Well, good luck with that, Barney. But on another matter, I need you to swear out an arrest warrant for my brother Daniel and his unknown female accomplice.
Now, John, I just can't go around arresting someone on your say-so. Well, what did your brother allegedly do?
Well, he tried to defraud Minnie out of her mother's rightful inheritance with the help of some woman in a veil.
And how did he allegedly do that?
Well, when I was in a coma over in Sweet Swine Hospital there, Daniel forged Minnie's name on a document that gave up her rights to her mother's multi-million-dollar fortune.
Now let me get this straight. You were in a coma.
Mm-hmm.
So if you were in a coma, how did you know Daniel committed forgery?
Well, my idiot brother took the papers to my bank to have them notarized.
If Daniel went to the bank, they would have had to witness his signature in order to notarize it.
That's where our mysterious accomplice, the woman in the veil, she comes in with him. Daniel comes into my bank to have him notarized, and he's got this woman in a veil, and she's just wailing up a storm. Finally, Mary Ann Chappell just decided she would go ahead and notarize it.
And you have all this on tape and have recorded it?
You bet you I do.
Melvin, we have to get an APB out on Mr. Daniel Beauregard Lee ASAP.
All points bulletin ASAP. Will Cousin John remain a suspect in Selma Schwartz's disappearance? And will Officer Gabriel and his crack team of police officers track down and apprehend Daniel Beauregard Lee and bring him to justice? I guess we'll find out after the break.
Oh, Abby Appetite here, head reporter for the What's Cooking team. Making a list for my reporters to do stories on about the restaurants, cafes, diners, supper clubs, and bakeries in the small towns of the Midwest. You can see them all on clucktv.com. Hey, let's pick one out and go there together. Remember, you'll be traveling with an appetite. Abby Appetite.
This program has been made possible by Purdue University, Sweet Swine County's Institute of Higher Learning, with 3 classroom trailers that can accommodate up to 9 students each. To learn more, visit sweetswinescoop.com.
Welcome back to As the Corn Grows. Now, we join Daniel as he meets with Miss Minnie to discuss the wedding and Miss Minnie's inheritance.
You have a lot of nerve showing up here in Sweet Swine County, Daniel Beauregard Lee. Why, Johnny's down at the police station right now swearing out a warrant for your arrest.
A warrant? Arrest? Oh, darling, what in the world are you talking about?
You know very well what I'm talking about, Daniel. You forged my name on a document trying to take my mother's estate away from me.
Oh, darling, I would never do anything to hurt you. In fact, I only recently learned that your mother had passed. I would never do anything to hurt you.
You can cut the act with me, Daniel. I know it was you.
You don't understand, my dear. I only just returned from Chicago. You were the first person that I wanted to see. Now listen, I know that you're wearing my brother's ring, but I was really hoping that I could change your mind and you would elope with me.
Elope with you? Are you crazy? I'm not going anywhere with you, Daniel. Well, you're going to be in prison for the next 20 years, mister.
But I did not do this despicable deed. How could I prove this to you?
There's no one else it could have been, Daniel. Johnny was in a coma.
Oh, wait a minute. Boris. It must have been Boris. Do they have the voice on tape?
No, Daniel. It only captures video. And I'm curious, what woman did you get to impersonate me?
Woman? What woman? Minnie, I did not do this. We need to go to the bank right now and let's talk to the person that notarized this document.
Go to the bank with you? Do you think I'm crazy, Daniel? I'm not going anywhere with you. Johnny!
Daniel? John Robert? Now, calm down, John. Listen, Minnie, call 911 right now. Now, John, there's no need to do this. Minnie, what are you waiting for? You call Gabriel and tell him to get his butt over here right now.
But John, Daniel said he didn't do it.
Minnie, you call 911 this second. You stay right where you're at. Listen, John, Minnie was explaining to me what happened the last couple days, and so, you're under the mistaken impression that somehow I forged documents to steal away her rightful inheritance? Oh, nobody's mistaken about that. I got your face all over surveillance video. Not as smart as you thought you were. But I can't understand why you're not 10,000 miles away from here right now. Well, I assure you, if I had done this, I would be a long ways away. But do you really think I would stroll in here after trying to swindle Minnie out of her rightful inheritance? Well, maybe you just don't know that you've been exposed for the criminal that you are. Listen, John, I know it wasn't me on that tape. And you was in a coma. Now just think about it. Who does that leave?
Daniel's right. You know, this whole thing is about Boris and his half-sister Natasha doing this to pay you back for stealing Vladimir's fortune away from him.
Boris? You do think Boris did this? Hey, for one thing, he was out in that ecosphere when this all happened. Or was he? Maybe that was just his maniacal alibi to keep you from making him your prime suspect.
Think about it, John. You know, Boris did threaten you on more than one occasion.
And he was in the bank with a woman. And if it was Natasha, my bank employees would have known it wasn't Minnie.
And Daniel suggested that we go down to the bank and that we talk to Marianne and see if she can remember hearing the man's voice that day. Now, would he suggest that if he'd been there that day?
Listen, we can clear up this whole misunderstanding today. What do you say, John? You know, I suppose it does make sense, but how would Boris get at Minnie's inheritance anyway? If Minnie wasn't around, it would have gone to her half-sister Annie anyway. Well, I do suppose if they could impersonate Minnie, it only goes to follow that they could eliminate Annie and use her to get at the fortune also. By the way, did you speak with Annie when you were in Alabama?
No, I did not. I sort of assumed that she was in on this, with you trying to take the fortune away from me.
With me, why would I use a perfect stranger to try to dupe you out of your inheritance? Listen, enough. We can sort through this right now. Minnie, call the police and tell them what's going on. Daniel and I are going down to the bank. Get this straightened out right now.
Now that's one slippery snake oil salesman. Will Daniel really convince Miss Minnie and Cousin John of his innocence? Find out next time on As the Corn Grows! Get ready, because now you can watch a full of fun daytime talk show that shares the latest and greatest news about the people, places, and events found all over our story country. The Women of Sweet Swine County, hosted by three sassy ladies that tell small town stories with big town attitude. Now on this station and the web.
The lifestyles led in the small towns and counties of the Midwest are like no other, but we seldom hear about the points of interest and businesses located in these towns. Well, there's one TV station that's made it their mission to make sure the stories of the small towns of the Midwest are told, Cluck TV. That's right, Cluck TV, located in the neighboring county of Sweet Swine. See all the towns that are covered on KLUKTV.com.
Get ready, because just when you thought you'd gotten the cockleburs out of your overalls, they're now on TV. That's right, this is one weed you won't want to pull. The Cocklebur Morning Show, with hosts who deliver a mix of news, entertainment, and information about the communities throughout our story country. now on this station and the web.